But I'll say good day to you this day of your time. We will begin this transmission in the following way. First and foremost, we will thank each and every one of you, individually and all of you together collectively, for sharing in this transmission and the interactions that will take place later today of your time. Things in your reality have shifted. New parallel realities are constantly coming into existence along a new course of energy, a new direction of vibration and frequency. And in accordance with these shifts that have now taken place, the transmission will contain some different information. We will this day be discussing and sharing with you perspectives and information having to do with what we will call 9 levels of consciousness. The 9 levels of consciousness we will be dealing with will have to do with those levels that are immediately relevant to your physical reality experience, even though some of these levels may not in and of themselves be physical expressions of consciousness. They are intimately connected to your experience of physical reality, and your physical consciousness, your physical mind, can and does connect to and call upon information from these levels. And in connecting to and calling upon information from these levels does thus then determine exactly how your experience of physical reality will be created, will determine the quality of that experience of physical reality. Now, notice that generally speaking, we say your experience of physical reality rather than in physical reality, because physical reality is not actually something you are in. It is something that is in you. It is in your consciousness. It is an experience of your consciousness. And in this description of the 9 levels of consciousness we will be addressing in this transmission today, we will endeavor to clarify certain aspects of consciousness we have covered before, but which we have never delved into in this degree, in this way, so that you can have a much clearer understanding and a clearer ability, a stronger ability to deal with different levels of your own consciousness, to understand how those levels work with each other, and thus then to allow a more balanced experience of physical reality to occur within your consciousness. We will begin by giving names and labels and identifications to these different levels, some of which you have heard, some of which you may not have heard of. Nevertheless, you will see in time how they relate. Again, of course, remembering that these levels are simply arbitrary divisions created within an overall consciousness that you are, a greater being that you are. But the vibrational differentiations created within your consciousness give rise to these different experiences of levels, of dimensions of consciousness that all exist within your greater being. We will start at the level that is highest in frequency and yet still relevant to the idea of your physical experience, that level that is referred to as the oversoul. Now, some individuals on your planet often refer to this by a variety of names, oversoul being one of them. Some refer to this as celestial soul, and you can use that term if you wish, although it is also possible to assign the term celestial soul to something even higher than the oversoul, and perhaps even more representative of the greater being we initially referred to. But for now, we will use the concept of oversoul as that which can extend itself and express itself as many individualized souls, or spirits, if you wish. In this context, the term individual soul, which is the next level down in frequency under the oversoul, and individual spirit being interchangeable terms, synonymous for the purpose of this transmission with one another. So, oversoul can, in a sense, extend itself, or, if you wish, split itself into a multitude of individual souls or individual spirits, each of which can experience individually what we are also about to describe, should such an individual soul choose to experience the idea of physical reality. What we are about to describe is generally the path that is created, generally the overall blueprint that is created from that level down to crystallize within the consciousness the experience of physical reality. Once the oversoul has split itself into a multitude of individual souls or spirits, thus then a spirit choosing to have a physical incarnation experience will thus then split itself even further, vibrationally speaking. The first layer it will split itself into will be the idea of the higher mind and the physical mind. Now, higher mind remains non-physical as a representation of the spirit vibration, but it is not the whole spirit. In that sense, it is still part and parcel of something that has split itself to create a physical reality experience. And just as the physical mind experiences a discrete and distinct physical world, physical realm, physical reality, so too the higher mind actually has its own world, its own realm. Now, in the physical world, you will notice that it is mostly defined by the idea of what you call three-dimensional space and one dimension of time. But in the higher mind's realm, in the higher mind's reality, a fuller experience of multidimensional time is capable of being experienced, whereas not necessarily so much space is required. You will find thus then that just as the physical mind can appear to navigate in 3 dimensions of space, the higher mind can navigate in multiple dimensions of time. And this is why, from the higher mind's perspective, it can experience what the physical mind calls past, present, and future all at once, and has the point of view that gives it the broad, big picture view that allows it to guide the physical mind on its journey through the idea of third-dimensional space. So there are 2 parallel worlds, in a sense. The world of the higher mind, in which certain kinds of experiences can be had, the world of the physical mind, in which certain other kinds of experiences can be had. And these are 2 discrete and distinct kinds of realities, far different than the combined reality of the individual soul or the spirit, which contains all of this, but operates on a higher frequency, even as the oversoul also operates on a multidimensional higher frequency, allowing it to experience a multitude of individual souls simultaneously. Now, going down, as we said, vibrationally from the oversoul to the individual soul or spirit, to the higher mind and to the physical mind. In between the two, there is yet another vibratory plane. And this is what we have referred to as the template level reality that separates the non-physical higher mind world from the physical world. This template reality is kind of a hybrid of both. It is like unto a blueprint reality in which the higher mind can set up certain kinds of blueprints or templates of what the physical mind portion of its whole being may experience. And as we have said in past transmissions, when the higher mind and the physical mind can function in a balanced relationship, then that allows the whole being to express itself in a balanced way. The whole being that is experiencing physical reality. This is why it is important for the physical mind to work in conjunction and in relationship with higher mind so that it functions holistically, taking advantage of the view of the higher mind in its world and augmenting it with the perspective of the physical mind in its specific discrete realm. But the way to do this, the level of reality through which this connection is accomplished, this relationship is accomplished, is the template level reality, which is a world unto itself. And in this template level reality, where the blueprints of physical reality are laid out to be experienced, there is a conduit in this reality that connects higher mind and physical mind, and we have referred to this as the conduit you call imagination. This is where you allow yourself the freedom to let the perspective of the higher mind, the telepathic communications of the higher mind, free rein to filter through the template level reality into the receiver that has been created in physical reality, which is called the physical brain, that thus then allows the perceiver of the physical mind, which is composed, as we have said, of belief systems and emotions and thought patterns and behaviors, to function in the way that it needs to explore the concept called physical reality. But now, within the physical world, even though we have said it is composed of these belief systems and emotion systems and thought systems, there is something we would like to very specifically clarify about the way these are arranged in physical reality. Because we understand in that the way this concept has been transmitted and in the way that your language has been designed to interpret this concept of the threefold personality structure has led you to believe, in a sense, that it exists in a certain structure, and in fact, the structure it actually exists in is exactly upside down and opposite from the way humans tend to think. In other words, when we talk about the idea of this three-part physical mind composed of beliefs and emotions and thoughts, there are specific vibratory levels in which these things are manifest. The vibratory level in the physical mind in which belief systems are manifested is often referred to by your society as the unconscious mind. The level of the mind in which emotions are generated is often referred to as the subconscious mind. The level in which the thoughts are generally experienced is simply called the conscious mind. Now, herein lies a little bit of confusion and a need for some degree of clarification. Because from your physical perspective, you have been taught or trained to view the idea of your conscious mind and your thoughts